I just got this new device that's gonna let me do remote burnouts in my car, so that way if cops show up, no one's at blame. All right, let's do this. All right, is it working? Today we're gonna be building a drift car for under $3,000.
And it really doesn't get cheaper than that. V8 powered, stick shift, all packaged in a cheap Mustang.
I mean, this thing has seen it all. We've done everything from replacing panels, to a wrap, to fixing the engine, to wheels, to cutting the fenders, you name it. But today we're gonna be putting a roll cage in it and starting its journey into becoming a real drift car. Let's get into it. So before we put this roll cage in, you can see there's a ton of this really gooey, sticky, grimy insulation, sound deadening material that someone put in at some point. This is not factory. And the problem is we're gonna be welding a lot in this area and we can't have this. And it's very hard to get out. It's disgusting. Luckily, I have a great idea that I think you're gonna like. So we're gonna be using some dry ice. We're gonna turn that insulation to basically frozen crackers that come up real easily with a screwdriver. But in order to do that, we gotta break it into a million pieces. Don't touch this stuff because it'll burn the shit out of you. That's why I'm using a glove. You know I don't really care about safety a whole lot, but I'm using a glove. All right, we gotta go. Time is of the essence. Ugh. All right, we gotta pour this in here. Pour all over the insulation. Be really careful. Okay, so you're gonna wanna make sure all of your surfaces are covered. It's gonna need some time to just sit and crackle. Oh, I touched it with my hand. Oh, you hear it crackling? Listen, 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 it's crackling.
It's popping.
You hear it?
Yep.
All right, now you're trying to let it sit for about, I don't know, like 4 or 5 minutes. Eventually this will all just evaporate because it's just carbon dioxide. So we'll give it like 3 or 4 minutes. We'll pull all this off and then we'll start hitting it with a screwdriver and it should just pry right up. All right, ready? Let's see if it's cold enough. Yep, it worked. So this stuff basically peels off as potato chips, like hard plastic now. So I just gotta sit here for about an hour and a half and probably scrape all of this up. Hear that? It's just crunching. Ugh. Okay, so another thing, while we're getting into the nitty gritty here, and I need to clear as much room as possible for this roll cage and for all the welding, and honestly, weight saving. So we're gonna be removing these panels and these seat belts because we don't need this shit anymore. Things that do this thing sucks. It's already broken.
Look, there's a speaker right there. This car never had a radio. There's a speaker right there.
There we go. Okay, well, after wrestling with it for about 45 minutes, we are done. I mean, it's as good as it's gonna get. There's definitely some surface rust that we are going to ignore and not do anything about. We made sure to be very careful not to get the dry out on these wires because you can lean on it and it would crack in half and that would not be good. Let's get mocking up on this roll cage.
Okay, this is the roll bar that we got for it. And basically we're gonna have 2 struts go like this, crossbar for the harness. One problem though, if you look, you can see that this is much higher than this, which means the convertible top's not gonna clear it. So we're gonna have to cut the bottoms off and lower it. So that's why we're gonna measure right now. We're gonna try to get this top up, and this top is on its last legs right now. So,
all right, we're gonna take this roll cage out, put the top up, and then we'll go and do some measurements. All right, now I was gonna put this top up, so go ahead. I'll show you how beat to shit this thing is. Absolutely falling apart. Other way, other way, other way. Right there, okay. So you'll see, it starts to lean. That's not here, we gotta pull it, oh shit. Okay, hold on, pause. All right, hold on. As you can see, it is dilapidated, but we're gonna come on this side, and we're gonna push, okay. Here we go.
you gotta come support it from this
All right,
side.
gotta come support from this side now.
One hand's grounding the wire, and the other hand's using the button.
Okay, let me set the camera down so you guys can see how much of a operation this is. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. A little more. Oh. Okay. As you can see, there is a very limited, finite amount of ups and downs this thing's got left.
Time to measure for the roll bar.
It's a real tight fit in here. So it looks like we can safely clear 2 feet and 11 inches. Oh, 3 feet. 3 feet from this. Okay, let's get to work. Okay, so time to do the roll cage. And the first step is you have these, I'm guessing, 1/8 inch plate steel thingies, bobbers. And basically, they go right in the corner. You get as much welding around the perimeter as possible, and then the roll cage weld onto that. Then you have a flat, nice, good surface for it to bite to. But before we can weld this in, I gotta prep this for Noah. So I already marked it with a Sharpie, and I gotta basically clean this up so that the weld's gonna stick to it. We've upgraded our tools. We got air tools now.
Lenny's basically a NASCAR team all in one right now.
Yeah. Oh. So this is the importance of that dry ice step, and I missed a spot. I'm going to show you why it's super important not to miss a spot. But if you take a look right here, as I was grinding, there was a little bit of that residue, a little bit left, and well, I missed it, and it got sucked into this thing, and it just started spreading. And now it's a pain in the ass. I mean, there's that black goop. I mean, Noah can't weld on that, so I have to sit here and basically just go through grinder after grinder bit to get all the shit off. Don't mess up the dry ice step. It's super important.
So in order to weld this plate in, basically we had to ground off the entire bottom and then stack a bunch of washers on one side because the ground is not perfectly even. I'm gonna go around and just lay a thick weld all the way around the sides, and I'm not the best welder, so I'm just gonna do it over and over and over again until it's like part of the frame basically. And then yeah, this is gonna support our lives. So our lives are in my hands. We're just gonna take our time. You know, if you want a good weld or a functional weld, you just gotta take your time, be patient. I'm gonna start doing this, hopefully not create a fire.
Okay, well, Noah does that, and I'm gonna sit back and relax because I can't. Both of us can't fit in there, but the next step after that is done, we need to take this big bar, start fitting it in, you know, taking account for the measurements that we took earlier when the top was up. So pretty boring stuff, but the stuff's important for doing loads of dangerous stuff in the car because it makes it a little bit safer. This will also allow us to add a harness. So when we dry this thing, it can finally have a harness in it, make this into a proper drift build on a budget. Sometimes in life, if you don't want to pay top dollar, you got to get your hands dirty, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. Okay, so we have both plates pretty much welded in. We might go back and touch up a little bit later, but I have this loosely placed in here right now, and based off our based off our measurements from earlier, we need this thing to sit about 36 to 37 inches from right here. So we're gonna cut off about 3.5 to 4 inches off the base of this, and then we should be able to get this thing down far enough for this top to still function and go up.
Just as a reminder, we're not building a cage to any kind of spec for drifting. This is just to have fun in as a practice drift car. Safety is obviously pretty important. That's why we're trying to do the right steps, but this isn't a full encompassing cage that goes around the front. It's just the rear one with the bars back here and then the bars up here.
Yeah, and just for your information, obviously some of you might be like, oh no, you're welding to the floorboard, it's not going to be functional. Here's the thing, is we're tying in 2 pretty strong frame points right here, and again, this is not built to spec for a racetrack. Let's get this thing cut and we'll put it in the car. Oh shit. Alright, it seems that the power has gone out, so we'll be right back. You think I can just step on this? No way. Hold on.
Probably really hot.
There we go. Okay. Let's go.
Okay, let's test fit it in the car.
I mean, that sure looks like that might clear.
It is above the seat by a little bit.
I mean, it looks like it's
about pretty level with this.
I say the next step is put that top up, and we'll see if it clears.
Top up, which is a big step because this top is not easy.
Aha! All right, guys. I think we did it first shot here. Look at that, baby. It clears. Dude, look at the look right here. We added a freaking B-pillar, dude. So next step, we can finally, you know, put the top back down. It's a process. Battery died. You know how it goes. Then we can start welding this thing in. I'm excited. There we go, dude. It's really important to be really careful whenever you're welding inside of a vehicle that nothing catches fire. So we obviously have the necessary fire extinguisher on standby. And always have another set of eyes, always looking on the car and underneath the car, because things get hot, fuel lines are ran, brake lines are ran, things are flammable, gotta be careful. All right, so I've done some extremely precise measurements with my squiggly line Sharpie, as you can see, and I think I clocked it at the right angle, so I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna leave a little extra room, because I don't know entirely what I'm doing. So let's chop this up and see if it fits. My extremely precise measurements, I could happily say, I think, look at that, dude. Okay.
You think darkness is your friend. I was born in it. Okay. Well, so far, it's a little bit tacked, so that's good enough, right? Now, we're gonna put a big bead right here, and then on the plate too, so that this is structurally sound. And we're gonna do it all over again right over here, so.
Okay, so we cut and tacked in the other side. As you can see, Noah is going to be attaching it permanently with some very nice welds. This thing is coming together nicely.
Okay, well, we've got a lot done so far. So pretty much most of it's welded in. Got the crossbar right there so we can mount the harness to it. And then Lenny took some of the scrap and built this perfectly thing. And he notched it using an angle grinder. So it'd be nice to have an actual like notching tool, but we don't have that. But Lenny was creative. He was able to make do with what we got. So basically it's just gonna fit right there. And this little cross will just create a little bit more support.
And most importantly, look freaking cool.
Yeah, it'll look cool, which is the main thing. Obviously, hopefully we don't have to use this. Believe it or not, this is our first roll cage we've ever made. So I'm not like, you know, I mean, it should hold up. We followed all the instructions we've read online, but you know, it's not a full cage, obviously. Like ideally, you want something that's bulletproof. You want the cage to go right around here. But this is just so that, you know, for whatever instance, it's safer because it is a convertible. And this is our little drift car. So, you know, there's gonna be a lot of spinning around and doing stuff, and just for safety. It looks cool though, too.
Okay, well, so far the roll cage is pretty much welded in. Now I'm just going around, it's a very tedious process, but I'm gonna go around and clean kind of everything up, and then we'll throw some paint on it, and it will look a hell of a lot better. Now we're kind of far from done from this interior as a whole. We have a lot of things we want to add, gauges, a lot of custom aluminum paneling, but for right now, the structure is here. The roll cage is in and welded. Noah did an awesome job. I guess I got a lot of grinding to do. All right, so the bars are sanded, they're prepped, they're wiped down, as good as this car deserves. So now, little roll bar and chassis, get this thing nice and right. Okay, so to fast forward a few steps, as you guys can see, the roll cage is in, and it's black, which looks really nice. I'm actually really happy with how this came out. Seats obviously are still in, and now the harnesses, we have done all the work, and the harnesses are secure and tight, and they look great. So pretty cool stuff. So what the next step is, we're gonna get this thing out of the garage and into a place we can go test it out.
Let's do it. It's time to take the new Drift Mustang and put it to the test. And that's exactly what we're gonna do with the Drift Stang.
Let me get some light over here.
How about we don't show those welds, huh?
Nope. I've seen worse on better. You just gotta let it warm up for a second.
All right, Noah is so graciously gonna show us some proper destruction in this Mustang. This is the drift build that we've been, working towards, and this is something that's gonna, take a lot of time. We did a full roll cage. What?
I'm scared.
Oh, I am too. I hit the home.
Cops, cops, cops. Hi, sir.
Come on, guys.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Rip it.
I'm gonna rip it right now.
Good fucking going, Noah.
He's on a traffic stop and he heard the screeching.
You heard me failing at trying to do a donut.
He's like, I couldn't hear one full 360. He's like, I had to come over here. Talk to him.
He was basically saying like usually like we'd pull people over for this, but this was just so damn bad. Like we're not gonna make you suffer twice for one night.
We know the embarrassment's enough.
You know what your friends are gonna do to you.
Yeah.
He's like, is all those donut marks you? And I'm like, I said I wish.
Really? Did you get his number?
Maybe.
Good fucking job.
Okay, is he still there?
Like, just round the corner.
Okay.
All right, we're good. The drift stang is alive. That was fucking awesome. Dude, you fucking nailed it.
I wish there was more smoke, but whatever.
The drift stang is born, dude.
The car needs a little bit more power, that's for sure.
Yeah, but she gets around.
Yeah, it gets around. It's able to slide. It's able to lose traction, no problem. That's the power of a good old V8. Even though it's a stock 200 horsepower V8, manual transmission. Next thing we gotta do is we installed this long throw shifter. Here, show the camera. The long
this
throw
thing
shifter.
is like comically large.
Yeah, it makes the shifts like forever. So we need to go back to having a short throw shifter and it'll be a lot better. Yeah, stay tuned because the drift stang is gonna get more upgrades
Angle kit, handbrake, and all sorts of fun stuff.
and it's gonna get a whole lot cooler.